see flaws here and there, but he can't see it because he's trapped in his own logic. Being able to reflect on yourself and identify, I'm not perfect, I have flaws, I need to overcome those flaws. That's fucking strong. That's not weak.
Yeah, but but if you can do that by yourself versus having to go to somebody, are you a stronger-minded individual? You sound like bestiality shouted.
You're so sensitive.
What do you mean? How? What's going on, y'all? Ground Motivated back in this thing again, man, with another video. We're finally back on the camera. Today we got some Andrew Tate, who Angie hates. And this, the title of this video right here is Therapy is for Losers. Let's see if we agree. Andrew Tate's pretty goofy, but he says a couple, 2-3 things. It's like, all right, that's kind of, I can understand that.
It sounds like he's hating on people who have psychological issues.
He might be hating. Let's see. This is by Young Don, the Sauce Guy. Let's go.
Therapy ruins you. Video by Andrew Tate. Let's go ahead and see what man's here got to say.
It is detrimental. Not only is it useless, not only is it not science, not only is it bullshit, it actually...
Sometimes I can't take this man serious, bro. Imagine if I went on those two.
Rob calls him the condom head. His head is really, it's really,
I think it's really interesting how when he's talking, from nose up, it stays the same. He's staring at you, and then his mouth is like...
I think he's playing a character or something like
Okay.
that. I think so. Let's get it.
It is detrimental. Why his eyebrows not moving? I don't know. He's kind of funny to me sometimes.
It makes people worse. The worst thing you can do is...
Why is he frowning? It is detrimental.
Problem is sit and talk about it all day. People say you shouldn't bury your
I can't see it now.
Right?
That's...
The condom head?
Yeah. No, what you said.
Oh.
It's funny because I do that sometimes.
Welcome back to the best, most underrated, undersubscribed to YouTube channel on the internet. Take Speech.
Wow. What a humble guy, huh?
I know what it looks like.
What?
It looks like he just had a Botox up here. So like he can't move.
I'm here with my coffee, chilling. And today we're going to talk about therapy.
Alright, let's
So
talk
I have
about
a gripe with therapy. If you've been watching my channel for long enough, you know that I have a gripe with many things. And I'm always right. I'm eternally correct. If I have a gripe with something,
Wow.
then that something is in trouble. Because my logic is infallible.
Right.
And I have a genuine problem with therapy as a whole.
Okay.
So let's start from the beginning. What is
Let me just let you know where I stand on therapy. I don't like it. I don't believe in it. I would never go to it. I would never do it. I don't think if you do therapy, you should necessarily stop. But I believe that in the modern day, therapist is a replacement for your pastor. It's a replacement for your family, for your friends, and for your own means of introspection. We live in a society that doesn't want you to believe in God, and we have a society that doesn't want you to know how to think for yourself. So they tell you pay somebody else.
Okay, I disagree with that because there's a reason why we pay therapists money. Because why your family, your friend, your pastor should be the one bearing the burden of your own issues.
Okay.
Right? It's like you shouldn't be expecting them to take big chunk of their time from their own life and listen into your issue and give you advice.
Okay, so you kind of become a burden for the people around you in a way, like where a therapist is like meant for that kind of.
It's basically like you're sick, but instead of like mentally sick, right? Let's say you're physically sick. Instead of going to the hospital, you're relying on your friend to take care of you, to give you medicine. Yeah. It's like, but why? There's a bunch of physicians looking to take care of you. So why are you relying on your friends then?
Okay. That's good. That's fair.
50, 60, 70, 80, $100 an hour. Someone who doesn't know you, doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, who only will talk to you if you give them money. And we're supposed to believe because they went to a school for 4 to 8 years and then read a bunch of books that they can tell you how to solve your problems. Well, I'm here to tell you there is only one way to solve your problems, and that is through the assistance of the Lord Jesus Christ.
So let's start from the beginning. What is therapy? Well, therapy is the idea that you need to go through life.
I'm not religious, but I do feel like for people that are into it, yes, you can probably find answer through your belief.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for them.
So basically, the whole thing of this video is kind of like everybody has a different way of being therapy or going
coping.
to therapy. Yeah,
right.
coping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some folks might go to therapy and it might really help them to be able to like say, yeah, my dad was trash and he did this and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might, like me, go to the boxing gym and you have that all the time. Even if stuff is bad, you got that still.
But personally, I feel like there's no right or wrong way of how you cope with this.
Yeah.
But if you have some kind of trauma,
What if you
like for
going
example,
on a murder spree because you need to cope? You're an incel.
Exactly. So I'm saying like if you have some kind of trauma and it's causing you to do some things, either self-harm or hurting others, that's when the therapists come in.
Yeah.
Because your friends and family may not guide you the right way, and that's why you're fucked up right now. You're effed up right now.
Okay.
Because you don't know how to release all that.
So okay, all right.
And of course, and he was saying how like, oh, those people have 5 to 6 years of education, and now they think they're the shit. Yeah, comparing to your friends and family who had 0 years of education on that, they are.
Okay.
It's like if I want to learn boxing, why would I go to a professional, right? Because they have the years of teaching and experience. Versus I just find like a friend and be like, hey, let's watch some YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of real. But then again, therapy is kind of like a thing where it's like it's not like a set in stone kind of deal. Do you know what I mean? Like boxing, we know that jab, cross, and this is exactly it. But therapy is like a man's mind is over here. It could be over there.
I agree. That's why I feel like it's important to find a good therapist that matches and understands what you are going through.
Okay.
Because I don't think all of them are alike. You can't group them all in the same category and be like, oh, one's trash, so all of them are trash.
Right. Okay.
Just like trainers, they're different tiers.
That's real. So. That's really real. Let's go.
Crying about the bad things that have happened to you to some other mortal being as if they are God, and that somehow that makes things better. You need to go to some other normal human with their own problems, who's no better than you,
right?
And sit there and go, oh, this happened, that happened, and sit there and bitch about it.
Yeah.
And that somehow this inaction is going to improve your life. This Tate speech is going to have a lot of different elements to it because my problems with therapy are varied. But one of my largest problems with therapy is that it's an antithesis to my worldview. And my worldview is that action always wins. Momentum, speed, power, forward, forward, forward. Anyone who's done business with me knows the first thing I say is, okay, good idea. How quickly is it done? The sooner it's done, the sooner it makes money. If it takes 2 days instead of 1 day, that's 1 extra day we've lost we can never make money during. You want to be a millionaire, do things quickly. Action wins. Therapy is not action. Therapy is sitting and crying and complaining. Talk is not action. Chit chat isn't action. If you feel depressed, you go to the gym.
I don't know if he's ever been to a therapy session or not. The end goal of a therapy session is for you to have actionable items.
Yeah.
So that you can get over whatever you were whining about, right? It's just like complaining, whining is the part where you can allow the other person to look into your life in a very professional point of view and then give you feedback or like, talk it out so that you can understand your problem better and you know how to cope with it. It turns into an action the next time.
Because you're not immediately coming in there equipped with the way to get the action done.
Therapy is not just like you go in there, spend an hour, spend like $100 and be crying to the person and then you feel better afterwards. No. It's you understand. Yeah, you understand why you feel that way, what caused it. Yeah. And the next time when this happened, you can look at this issue from a third person's subjective view. And you can deal with it better instead of being trapped in your own emotions and cry like a baby again.
Right.
So
what he said overall is it has some merit to it, but the therapy part is like don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's real. I can understand that.
You do something. You don't sit and cry about it. Well, I feel depressed. Let's go sit and have a talk. Words don't count as action, not in the harsh realm of reality. Therapy.
I will say I do agree. I do agree that action is usually the best remedy. Because what is trauma? What is grief? It's really just overthinking. It's a combination of overthinking and worry, fear. That's really what it is. And I went to church this Sunday and the pastor was speaking on the topic of fear, and he was saying how fear is just faith in something evil, in something bad. You can have fear in God, or you can have fear in something evil. Because what is worry? Most fears are unfounded. You're worrying about something for no good reason. That is you having faith that this bad thing will happen to you. Instead, place your faith in God.
So, in relation to what he just said, like for example, if I have this terrible phobic to socialize with people or to spider, by going to a therapist, the therapist can help me overcome this. Maybe he or she is applying the same ideology behind this. You know, you're afraid of something that's like not real, not even there, and then gradually help me overcome it. But I feel like it's the same angle. It's just he goes to church and get a message.
It is.
Maybe I'm not that smart. Maybe I keep on going to church, but it just doesn't click to me. So I need to see a therapist that can explain things in a plain manner that I can understand, in a way that I can actually relate to. So I don't see what's wrong with it. Besides, maybe I'm spending extra money compared to him going to church.
That's real. Well, I mean, you go to church, you ain't really getting. You're doing the same thing Andrew Tate said. You ain't getting no action done at church. You're going in there and you're hearing about how the mustard seed turned into the God, and God did this. And pastors are just like how he said also. They're mortal beings. They have mess ups and they do all kind of crazy stuff. They got scandals. They scam folks.
Not
Some
all of them.
Not
like
all. We
that,
know not
right?
all of them, but there's a lot of them that's like just regular people.
Yeah, but I do feel like if you are smart enough, you can translate the message from church to and apply it to your own life. That's perfect.
So that's the same thing with a therapist. You be able to translate the message. Yeah.
Yes, it's just maybe for therapists it's more straightforward.
Yeah.
But it both translate into actions. So I don't see the problem with it.
All right, let's get it.
That he will protect you and deliver you. But he will only do this if you are a servant of God. If you commit to him fully.
Therapists don't want you to get better. Therapists want little piles of goo they can poke at, little weak individuals they can just poke at and ask stupid questions to. We're going to pay an hourly rate forever. It's not in their business model to improve your life.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. They just want to sit there and let you just talk as long as it takes. What's crazy about this is, how can you go and sit in front of a therapist and not cross your mind that this therapist has a shit life anyway? All these therapists are getting divorces and cheating on their wives and are just as depressed as you.
Yeah.
So why the do you think they know anything? If therapists understand psychology so well, why are they not all living these perfect, ideal lives? Well, they're not.
This is a great
They don't know
point.
shit. And I say this to them, and we're
That's why therapists also have their own therapists, because they believe in what they're preaching. They know it's going to help them. That's why they go to
So who does the
another
pastor
professional
answer to?
ask for help. God.
Okay. All right.
So it's like you have faith in this thing you're preaching to others. That's why you follow through as well when you need help.
Yeah.
I don't. This logic is. It's just like, for example, how can I phrase this? Like, it's always easier for people to give other suggestions when you are outside of the situation.
Yeah.
Right? You can see it clear.
Right.
And then you suggest, and then that person follow through, and then they make it. But when you're stuck in the same situation, you know what you need to do. But sometimes it's just hard for you. So you need someone else's, like third opinion, or, you know, I don't know. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, yeah. So I don't think there's any... It's just when you're in the situation, it's harder. Like, for example, Andrew Tate, he can think everything he said is bulletproof. It's like perfection. But for a lot of people that are outside, it'd be like, oh, we see flaws here and there, but he can't see it because he's trapped in his own logic.
Yeah. Huh? Let's get it.
to get onto my story about therapists. When I said this to therapists, they go, oh, we don't claim to be perfect. Well, if you don't claim to be perfect, then what you know doesn't mean. If you're telling me that your own knowledge cannot be applied to yourself to provide yourself with the perfect life, then you cannot provide anyone else with a perfect life.
This is, at first, I was gonna say, all right, Andrew coming in a little strong, even though I don't agree, or I personally wouldn't go to therapy. I mean, I believe in seeking counsel with your pastor and things like that, spiritual leaders, because...
So you're going to
Same
seek counsel with your
thing.
pastor, but you... Come on, man.
You just find something
sense.
you have believe in. You think that person has the professionalism and has the knowledge.
Right. They
to
both
guide
have
you through.
issues. And one's just a pastor. You just feel like you said, this is what you believe in. I guess like different people find different things to cope with.
Yeah.
And the pastor is what he does.
Yeah.
And the God and the religion is what he does.
It's like pastors pray to God. Pastor talk to maybe God directly to talk about seeing his confusion and seek guidance.
But at the same time, he messing with your wife on the side.
You don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
All right.
Don't say that.
All right, I'll leave it alone.
That's disrespectful.
I know you love Passion Fruit Church too. So.
I don't like. I've never been there, but
I thought you said you went.
I've never been there. I went to Buckhead Church.
That's Passion Fruit Church, ain't it?
No, Passion City Church is a different one.
Oh, okay. I've been to Passion Fruit Church one time.
Passion for Africa. Yeah.
Let's get it.
This is spiritual warfare that we're dealing with. I thought Andrew was coming in a little strong, a little like hot, a little just like, you know, provocative for no reason, but I haven't heard a single L take. Some of it was said a little with a little extra spice on it, you feel me? But I'm agreeing with pretty much everything he's saying.
What you think? You're an idiot. The idea that therapy is somehow necessary or mandatory is just new age Western garbage. I actually watched a really interesting documentary about it.
And I feel like another thing is listening to a pastor or listening to a therapist allow you to have that self-reflection that you might be harder for you to get from a friend or family, because we listen to our family talking to us all the time and we feel very rebellious against it. And friends, because we feel like we're equals. So when they say something to us, we're like, what do you know? So we can't really reflect on ourselves like that. So I feel like it's actually important to rely on like an authoritative figure. Like personally, I feel that way, because when they say something, I might humble myself and reflect and see, oh, is that really the case? Oh, actually that might be, and make me realize something that me by myself may not be able to discover it. And I feel like that's probably why Andrew Tate is such a, I don't know the word, insert the adjective here, a snobby person, because he probably does not reflect on himself. He thinks he's a god, he's perfect, he
definitely doesn't reflect on himself.
Exactly. So that's why he's like, you know, this is his personality.
You could beat Andrew Tate up really bad in a fight and he'd still be like, no, I do it right.
Yeah.
So and then I guess also you gotta add on to your logic, when you pay money for it, you go a little harder to improve it and do it.
I guess so.
So you pay a little money for that therapist, you're gonna go in there trying to get your mind right.
Right. When they say something, you're gonna follow to the T, and if it doesn't work, you could be like, that's.
They're like, talk to your dad, but I don't want to. Think about that money you spend.
Right. Maybe I would.
Right.
Girl in the 1970s who was in a plane crash in Brazil, I think it was, somewhere in South America. And the plane crashed, and everyone died except for her.
Wow.
When she woke up, the plane crashed, she was knocked out. She woke up, still in the seat, next to her decapitated mother, and dead bodies all around her. She got up, she foraged for food, she had some cuts and bruises, one of them got an infection. For 4 days she was surviving the jungle before she was succumbing to the fever she had from the infection. She laid down ready to die, and got found by some local people, which nursed her back to health. She ended up going back to Germany. She was a German girl. And they said, well, what happened afterwards? She goes, well, I went to Germany, and my dad obviously thought I was dead, but I wasn't, so he told me to get a job. I got a job, and that's it. And literally they asked her, well, didn't you go to therapy? She saw her decapitated mother next to her after getting plane crash.
Yeah.
And her reply was, no, in those days we didn't do therapy.
Right.
She just carried on with life.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me that she can carry on with life and get on with things.
Again, therapy is a replacement for God. For all we know, that woman had a great relationship with Jesus.
Just can't stop inserting God in every single.
He's going hard.
Called The Courage to Be Disliked, and
we might need to go to Young Don the Pastor. He might need to start his church up, boy. Young Don the Pastor, God.
But I do, like I can understand where Andrew Tate comes from, because like my parents' generation, right? Nobody goes to therapy because. Like, they were born and raised in China. It was really poor back then. They had to find a way to survive. They had to find a way to raise a family. They had to find a way to find food. Like, you know, like, therapy is just, like, a luxurious thing that didn't even exist. But the thing is, now, because we have more money and time, so we pay more attention to our mental health. Like, of course, like, a lot of people were not happy, but they just don't know how to deal with it. So they probably, they smoke, they drank, they, I don't know, indulge in some kind of other...
they coped how they cope.
Yeah, exactly. It's just therapy probably will be, like, for example, if I'm feeling extremely depressed, I can probably just drink extensively for days. But is that a healthy way of coping with it? Maybe not. So maybe therapy can help me get out of that cycle, or someone else can be a drug addict. You know, I don't know. Like,
Andrew Tate has Soldier Boy logic.
You want to know what I do when I'm sad or scared? Fucking nothing. because I'm not a fucking pussy.
He's like Soulja Boy on the YouTube. When men have problems, they just do it. They just get through life.
Yeah, his kid's gonna fear him. It's gonna love him.
I think a lot of people are actually like that.
Toxic masculinity.
I guess is it toxic masculinity, or are you able to just get through it without being weak-minded?
That's not weak-minded. Being able to reflect on yourself and identify, I'm not perfect, I have flaws, I need to overcome those flaws. That's fucking strong. That's not weak.
Yeah, but if you can do that by yourself versus having to go to somebody, are you a stronger-minded individual?
I mean, but does he identify his own issue?
No, he doesn't, but I mean like another kind of person.
I mean, if you can identify it by yourself and overcome it, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But
like
a
you
lot
can
of
be
people,
like, oh yeah, I messed up the money right here. This is why I failed at this. And then you're able to kind of come back and think about like why you did. You don't like give up or something. And then you come back and you do it better next time. Is that
I think that's just you're really good at self-reflection. And you know the way to get over that. But the thing is, a lot of people don't. We don't have that knowledge to do it. And then by identifying we need help, that's a big fucking step. I think that's a very strong move. That's not weak at all. Being able to ask other people for help is not weak.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, instead of thinking, oh, I need someone's help, we'll be like, oh, whatever, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Well, yeah, Don says
that's denying the reality.
Let's get it. Let's go and get a couple more minutes and then go and get skedaddle on this one.
Okay.
They have a very interesting it's discussing this form of philosophy. It fails my memory right now the actual name of this this subset of philosophy. But in it, the author argues that trauma does not exist. What occurs is some people choose to use certain dramatic events in their lives as an excuse for avoiding certain things. I'll give you an example. And the reason they come to this rationale is because two people from the exact same background can go through the exact same situation, and one, it appears to affect significantly, the other, it appears not to affect at all.
And that doesn't mean trauma does not exist. It means incidents affect people in different ways. Like, because we have different background, childhood, upbringing, phobias. So incident A can cause a huge distress to me, where you can be like, oh, I don't feel a thing afterwards. Because we're different human beings.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the examples they're using sounds really stupid. It's like, do you not...
So yeah, basically there could be holes poked in everybody's argument around.
Yeah.
Therapists are not always good. The pastor's not always good. Everything absolutely giving everything to God.
It's just very subjective.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't believe in it, sure, go keep going to your pastor, good for you, but you can't finger point other people that choose a therapist over a pastor and be like, oh, you're weak because what you believe in is nonsense. Because somebody else will come back at you and be like,
going to church.
Exactly. Yeah. So people are different. You can't.
Yeah. So I guess Andrew Tate loses again, or does he?
He
made a couple good points.
He will never admit that he made a mistake because I think based on what he said about like how if a person is not perfect, he will not take any suggestion from them.
Yeah.
So to him, giving suggestions to millions of people on YouTube, he must think that he is the textbook definition of perfection.
Huh. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that logic's not gonna work, but yeah. What do you think about Young Don Sauce God?
I'm happy that he loves his God. Good for him.
Yeah, that's good.
But you can't deny other people are finding gods elsewhere.
Right.
Just an elsewhere.
Yeah. So basically, he said God is here, F your trauma, kind of. Is that what he said?
He's just like, if you have trauma, talk to God.
Right. God's the only way.
Yeah, but it's like for someone that I've never talked to God, like I can be talking to him right now, but he doesn't respond. So what should I do? Just keep on talking to him? But it doesn't change my life. What should I do? And then he will argue, well, God has a plan for you, even though you're not hearing from him. He's actually planning things out, and then every day you're going through is part of God's plan. So you should just follow through. Yep. But to me, I'm still like, but my life still sucks right now.
There's always a workaround when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Like, I did apply that logic way back when I was going to church, like I did feel like I was trying to persuade myself, thinking, oh, everything happened for a reason. You know, you think this sucks right now, but it's for a reason. You just gotta keep on busting through, do it. Yeah, I think it definitely helps, like positive thinking. Yeah,
it's just positive thinking.
But it's like a very general.
But then again, Andrew Tate comes in. Where's the action? I get,
the action is the
what's
action
faithful
is you
works.
just stop your negative thoughts and keep on doing what you're doing. That's the action part. So it's like there is action. Andrew Tate is just not seeing it because he's never probably been to a therapist, so he doesn't know how.
According to him, he said he's been to a therapist. He said he's been to one, and the guy was just writing stuff down, like probably aggressive and all that. You know how he talks, aggressive and stuff.
Yeah, but think about Andrew Tate's personality. He probably won't take other people's like opinion or diagnosis.
Diagnosis.
Yeah, so he probably just like the whole time like, oh, you're bullshitting. So he has a very
narrow-minded view of everything. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, do you like Andrew Tate better? Or do you think what do you think of the Andrew Tate? You still hate him, or what you got?
I think he has a very cute dog that has.
I didn't see his dog.
Has a good butt.
His dog? His dog has a good butt. That was a weird comment.
Just like a very muscular kind of built.
That was still kind of weird. It sounds like a.
No, you know how corgis are
kind of ugly.
Corgi has a very cute butt because it's heart shaped.
Nope, corgis are ugly, and dogs' butts are not looking good. You sound like bestiality shouted.
You're so sensitive.
What do you mean? How? You still sound good. I mean, y'all go and comment down. You guys think dogs' butts are cute?
It's just the very. I mean, that's the only thing I don't know. I don't like Andrew Tate any much more anymore.
All right, he's just stuck in the same spot right now.
Yeah.
All right, man. But that's it for the video right there, man. Y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Would you go to therapy? Do you think therapy's for losers? All that good stuff. If you watched it to this point, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and don't be a lame. And we'll see you next time.